meeting the objectives. To help gather information on RCI operations, the RCI and Trade Division has developed this RCI dashboard using information from EOPS and harnessing the strength of Power BI. We expect this dashboard will make the RCI information more accessible and make this analysis of RCI operations more efficient. We soft launched this dashboard to a similar RCI community a few months ago and have reflected the comments and suggestions from a smaller group of RCI community to make the improvements for make this current revision. This is a living database which we will continue to upgrade and improve, especially as we operate under the norm. Your feedback, suggestions, and even requests for further assessment or improvement will make this product more useful. For this session, we'll be joined by Raul Geitmeiten from our front office. Raul attended the Power BI training in Singapore, and he will present the basic information on Power BI. After that, Ed Angeles, our consultant, will present the RCI dashboard, including the data, key elements, and the report generation. I look forward to your active participation throughout this seminar and raise as many questions as possible during the Q&A session. Thank you, and I wish you all productive seminar today.
Thank you, Ms. Tin Yang. And with that, may I request Raul to start his presentation. Raul?
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you, Sinyang and Eileen and RCI colleagues for inviting me to participate in RCI's seminar series to give an overview of Power BI. My presentation will focus on the basic features of Power BI, what it is, what it does, what are its building blocks to create a dashboard. Microsoft Power BI is an interactive data visualization software product developed by Microsoft with a primary focus on business intelligence. It is part of the Microsoft Power Platform. Power BI is a collection of software services, apps, and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into coherent, visually immersive, and interactive insights. Whether your data is a simple Excel sheet or a collection of cloud-based and on-premises hybrid data warehouses, Power BI lets you easily connect to your data sources, visualize what's important, and share that with anyone or everyone you want. Power BI can be simple and fast. It is also robust and enterprise grade, ready for extensive modeling and real-time analytics, as well as custom development. What does Power BI do? It is a business analytics service that transforms data into stunning visuals. You can share customized dashboards, visually explore and analyze data, and scale across your organization with built-in governance and security. Everything you do in Power BI can be broken down into a few basic building blocks. Once you understand these building blocks, you can expand on each of them and begin creating elaborate and complex reports. The first basic building block in Power BI is visualizations. It can be simple or can be visually complex. The image shows a collection of different visualizations that were created in Power BI service. The goal of a visual is to present data in a way that provides context and insights, either of which would likely be difficult to discern from a raw table of numbers or text. Datasets can also be a combination of many different sources, which you can filter and combine to provide a unique collection data for use in Power BI. For example, you could create a dataset from 3 different database fields: one website table, an Excel table, and online results of an email marketing campaign. This unique combination is still considered a single dataset, even though it was pulled together from many different sources. Once you have a dataset, you can begin creating visualizations that display different portions of that dataset in different ways. That's where reports come in. Reports let you create many visualizations on multiple different pages if necessary, and lets you arrange them in whatever way best tells your story. You might have a report about quarterly sales, a report about product growth in a particular segment, or you might create a report about migration patterns of polar bears. Whatever your subject may be, reports let you gather and organize your visualizations onto one or more pages. When you're ready to share a single page from a report or share a collection of visualizations, you create a dashboard. A dashboard has to fit on a single page, often called a canvas. The canvas is the blank backdrop in Power BI Desktop where you place visualizations. Think of it like the canvas that an artist or painter uses, a workplace where you create, combine, and rework interesting and compelling visuals. You can share dashboards with other users or groups who can interact with your dashboard when they're in Power BI service or on their mobile device. In the image, you see one tile highlighted by a bright box, which is also surrounded by other tiles. When you're creating a report or a dashboard in Power BI, you can move or arrange the tiles however you want to present your information. You can make them bigger, change their height or width, and snuggle them up to other tiles however you want. In summary, Power BI allows users to create and adjust visualizations based on their own needs. Users will be able to look at data from different perspectives and find insights into data relationships that help them make better informed decisions. A real-time and live application of this is the RCI Dashboard and the creation of the Climate Change and Sustainable Development Department Dashboard, which will be available to staff and management. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul.
Thank you.
I forgot to mention earlier that if you do have questions, it's either you can raise your hand or you can type in your question in the chat box. To make it the process easier, we'll lump all the questions later at the Q&A portion. Now to show us a real life application of the Power BI, can I request Ed to make his presentation on the RCI dashboard? Ed, thank you.
Hi, good afternoon.
We can hear you, Ed. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, so the RCI dashboard, the latest version is 4.2.
Can you share your screen? Can you share your screen, Ed?
Okay, sorry. Hold on. All right. Can you see it now?
Yes, please go
All right.
ahead.
Sorry about that. Okay, the latest version is 4.2. It's already live and running using ADB servers. Later on, we will do a walkthrough and we will provide you with the link so you can access the dashboard. The RCA Dashboard is a collection of 10 reports that focuses mainly on OP7 and its role in ADB. There are about 60 measures and over 20 variables in a 21-year time series. These information are presented in responsive and interactive visuals. Unless specified, the values presented pertain to ADB's financing commitment and number of committed projects, with or without OP7 tagging. The RCI dashboard was developed using Power BI, and it uses the EOPS database and Microsoft Excel as a supplement. So when you open the dashboard, this is the first page that you view. On the left side of your screen will be all the reports contained in the dashboard. There are 5 key elements that users need to be familiar with in order to use and enjoy the dashboard. So these are the 5 elements, and we will go to each of them one at a time. Okay. The filter pane, as indicated with the number 1 note, will be on the left side of each report. But for some reports, you would also see them on top, okay? Just above the visualization. There are only selected reports who uses that. We will show you later. The next one is the value switch. I think this is the most important part of the dashboard for me, because the value switch allows users to quickly switch between 2 measures. One measures commitment amount and the other measures number of projects. So in Microsoft Excel, to do this, we need to have 2 separate tables to present the amount of committed projects and the number of committed projects, or in one matrix, in a complex matrix. In the RCI dashboard, you can switch between amount and count of projects by just the toggle of the switch as indicated by number 2. Okay. In the walkthrough, we will show you how it works. So basically, when you click on the switch, it would either present the amount or the number of projects. Okay. The next key element would be the tooltips and visual information. Tooltips are additional information that is provided to users whenever you hover on a certain data point using your mouse. When you hover on a certain data point, it will provide you with additional information. Okay, so depending on the visual or the categories used, those information will also be presented to you. Okay. So these are useful information. So you just hover your mouse on any part of the visual, then this will pop out. Next will be the drill down. Drill down is a way of giving users additional categories to break down the values presented in the visuals. Right now, the categories that we have for drill downs about 3 categories. For this particular chart, you can break down the commitment amount or number of projects by income, by lending group, project status, and by sector. So users would choose any of the 4 categories to break down the values presented. If there are any other categories that you would like to add and you think that are useful for analyzing the values, please feel free to let us know, and we would evaluate if you could add the category. So for now, these are the categories that we have for drilling down the data presented. So as I said, we also have the user options. Normally, when presented with visuals like charts and tables, they are static, meaning that users really have no option to change what's being presented. In the case of the RCI dashboard, users can actually change the categories that you want to evaluate. So as I mentioned earlier, the RCI dashboard contains 10 reports. The 11th report is the notes page, where some explanatory notes on computation, on assumptions is presented. The 4 items in yellow font we will skip that now, and we will go through each of them more detail during the walkthrough. Okay. So the first page is the highlights. Basically, the highlights is the cumulative values for amount, number of projects, and countries assisted from in a 21 years series. The next one is coverage. Basically, it's a geographical map showing the countries assisted, and below that would be the table containing the information used to generate the values in the map. Okay. Although we will show this to you later in more detail during the walkthrough, let me just add that if you notice on the left of the table, there's the table options. Okay. The default value for the table, there's 5 fields: project number, project name, country, region, and the commitment amount. Users can have the option to add additional fields by selecting them on the table options on the left. Just click the data that you want to include in the table, and it will be added to the table automatically. The reason why we have this is, I think, one of the most powerful feature of Power BI is that you could export the data and analyze them yourself. You could create your own report for your own monitoring by using the data we are presenting here. So to do that, if you click on the table, you would see 3 dots over here, which when you click on that, shows you the following options. To export the data, you just select this third option. So when you select that, you will be presented with 2 options. One is to export the data using the current layout as presented in the visual, or a summarized form of data. In both options, Power BI will export the data in Microsoft Excel. Okay, this one's the bank-wide report. Basically, this shows the number of ADB projects broken down into OP7 tag projects and non-OP7 tag projects. Okay, this is for the region. It's basically a blank canvas, but it's a very powerful visualization, and it's user-driven. So to populate this visual, it's all in the user's hands. Okay, and this is one of the key visuals that we will show to you in the walkthrough later on. Okay, so this is the regional department section, but this is a pre-NOM. Right now, we are working on updating the dashboard to incorporate the recent changes in the department level. So we are already testing the changes, and we should be ready to update the live RCI dashboard sometime in the middle of next week. Okay, so one of the changes would be, aside from the regional departments and PSOD, we would also show the sectors group. The sectors group right now, currently, forms part of the HQ department. So we would take out the sector group and feature it similar to what we did with the regional departments and PSOD. So that would be available mid next week. Okay, this is a sub-regional program. Originally, this report was not part of the RCI dashboard. This is what we call a custom report. Before the RCI dashboard, there were no sub-regional tagging in any of the existing ADB systems. The monitoring is done through Microsoft Excel. So we work with our colleagues in the sub-regional programs. We obtained their monitoring files, which is basically mostly in Microsoft Excel, and we compiled and developed a database just for the sub-regional program. So now we have the monitoring report, which updates on a daily basis. Before this, the sub-regional our sub-regional colleagues, they can only do like at most once a month updating. So now they could get the daily updates, if there are any, in terms of sub-regional projects.
Wait, Ed, can I just add something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Actually, the sub-regional program part, this is still being done manually based on the Excel files that we receive from the regional departments. But the aim is to have this automatic maybe in the next couple of months. So what we are thinking of is to include this information in the RCI scorecard. Because as you know, all the information in the dashboard will be coming from an EOPS information. So what we are thinking is to include in the RCI scorecard an information on whether the project supports GMS, SASEC, or any other sub-regional programs. So that's an improvement for the next ones. But right now, this part is still being manually updated based on information that we receive from our RD colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. Okay, so that's the sub-regional program. Which is, like I mentioned, a custom report. Another one would be the RCA reporting page. This is also a custom report. This report was designed to help the RCR Secretariat in their regular reporting requirements. So currently, this is being done in Microsoft Excel, but now it's available in the dashboard form. So, and these are this that's currently being used to monitor RCI projects. Okay. The operational priorities, we would do this in the walkthrough. So I could skip that. Okay. So let's go to the walkthrough. All right. I would share in the chat the link to the RCI dashboard. So if you want to access it, you could. So this is the RCI dashboard. When you click on the link, this would be the page that would open up. It's the highlights page. It's basically a rundown of community rundown of on the first chart would be the commitment amount, then the number of projects, and the countries assisted. The three orange circular arcs represent pillars 1, 2, and 3 of OP7. On the left side would be the pages of the report. So you can click on any of those to jump to that particular report. For our walkthrough purposes, we would do the coverage first. So basically, the coverage is a visual representation of the countries we assisted and the projects. Okay? So on the left side would be the filter pane. So let's try to. So right now the default setting would be historical. So these all projects, but if we, let's say, we're only interested in the last five years. Okay, so we go to year, and we just select the last 5 years. Okay. So if you notice, both visuals, the geographical map, the table, they change as we hit the selection. This is pretty much instant and really responsive. So there's really no lag time that much. Okay. So these are the projects now for the period 2022, 2019. Okay. Say, for instance, we want to zoom in. Let's say we will do Philippines. There you go. All right. If you click on Philippines, you would notice that the table below also responds. It will now only include all projects for Philippines. So let's do that again. Initially, it includes regional projects, the other countries from other regions. So we want to focus on the Philippines, perhaps. So when you click on it, it would filter the table into projects in the Philippines only. Okay? So default state, there are only 5 fields being presented on the table: project number, project name, country, region, and the commitment amount. On the left side are table options. Here, you could add additional columns to the table. Anything that you feel needed that's listed here. If there are any other columns or field information that you would like to have available, just let us know and we would try to add them. So, okay, for instance, we would like to add the income classification. Oh, okay, no. Wait, that's wrong. Sector, maybe. Sector. Okay. There you go. Just select the sector and the column is added for each project. Okay. say we would also want to do approval date, and the approval date is added from the five initial columns. So that's it. So this is the coverage report, and there are other filters on the side, so you can use them as you feel needed. So, but basically this is the coverage report. Okay, the next one would be region. Okay. The region as it is a blank canvas. Okay, it only shows you ADB commitment amount. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how to use the toggle. So right now the default state is a commitment amount. If you just click on that switch, it becomes number of projects. Okay. Amount, number of projects. Okay. So say we want to break down ADB commitment amount into sector. You can do that by clicking on the plus sign. And these are all the categories available to users to further analyze the value. Okay. So say we want to use the sector, it breaks down ADB commitment into the sector arranged by descending amount. Okay, so 35.3 billion for transport, public sector, and so on. Okay. Say we want to break down transport, see how where this commitment amount, which countries were assisted. We just click on the positive sign and click by country. Okay, so we see here that India, Bangladesh, and PRC, top 3 countries in terms of transport sector. Okay, say this what we did sector and by country. For instance, we change our mind. We want by country instead. Just unclick the sector. Now you have the country, and you want to break down a country into income. Okay. Let's do, sorry, country, then which one? Sector. Okay. Okay. So for instance, we're looking at Uzbekistan. So just click on Uzbekistan, and it will show you the sectors in that country. Okay. So the default state would be bank-wide. Okay. When there are no selections, the values presented is bank-wide. Okay. So for instance, we only want to see Central and West Asia. So this is the overhead filter pane that I mentioned earlier. Aside from the filter pane on the left, some visuals also provide you with filters on top. Okay, so initially this is bank-wide. So when you click on Central and West Asia region, it only shows you the commitment amount for that region. Okay. And for in on, we could do by country, by sector, and say we want to know if transport sector, which projects have commitments to OP7 Pillar 1. Okay. So projects, when it says yes, these are projects with OP7 Pillar 1 commitment, and no is otherwise. Okay. So that it's that easy, and I think it's very useful, especially when you on how flexible the visuals are. Like if you change your mind on the disaggregation, just click on it and you can disaggregate it further in a different way. Okay. By lending group, country. Yeah. So the visuals are only limited by the number of categories that we have available for the users. So if you want to add additional categories to the selection, just let us know and we'll see. Okay. So this is amount. Again, toggle switch switches from amount, commitment amount to number of projects. Okay. Where in Excel, we have to show this into different tables. In the dashboard, with just a click of a switch, we can switch between amount and count of projects. Okay. So that is by region. Next would be OP. Okay. In operational priority, we would like to relate how OP7, if OP7 in relation to the other operational priorities. So the default state would be this is bank-wide. So for all operational priorities is the default. Okay. So it breaks down the default value into with RCI component or without RCI component. Those with RCI tagging or those with OP7 tagging or no OP7 tagging. Okay. So say we want to look at operational priority 1. Let's do this in number of projects. Okay. So so far in 2023, there are 36 ADB commitment projects. 29 does not have our OP7 tagging, RCI component, and 7 projects have OP7 component. Okay. The limitation with this visual is that we could only present years starting 2019 to the present. So the previous years we don't have the metadata for operational priorities back then. So we can only do starting 2019 onwards for operational priority. So here you could select which operational priority you would like to look at. Of course, when you select OP7, it's all RCI tag. It's OP7. Okay. Similar to the other reports, we also provide a table where you could select the additional options. Okay. So when you select the table, we notice this part. I'm not sure if you could see it, it's very small, but additional options will come up, and when you select that, it gives you the option to share, comment, export the data, and sort the figures if you want to sort it ascending, descending, or by project number or by country. You can do that here. But the most important thing would be the export data. So if you select export data, you'll be presented with these 2 options. So say we want to do summarize data and click on Excel export. Okay. So that was fast. Okay. And let's open that one. So here you go. You already have the data here. Okay, let me just fix the width. Okay, there you go. So the data we exported is here now, based on the columns we selected on the table. So this one is in Microsoft Excel format. Okay. So that's how you export the data. All right. So that's OP, operational priority. Then Uh, so yes, we would also for this particular visual, other than the options that you could add on the table for additional fields, this particular chart has drill down options. Okay, so let me show you how the drill down option work. If you hover over a particular data point, say the projects with RCI components for 2022, there's the tooltip information. It shows you the year, the tagging description, the number of projects over the total number of projects. And down below, you see the drill down. You select that. Okay. It breaks down the data point into sectors. If you want to say break it down by status of the project, perhaps, okay, let's do select again 83. Just hover your mouse pointer on the data point until the tooltip comes up, then go drill down. Okay. So 82 active, closed. Okay. Say by lending group. See. Oh, it's not. Okay. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Out of those countries, this is it's breaking down now into by the lending group. Okay. So you can choose the options here on the left side whenever it's available. And like I said, if there are any other categories that you want to feature, just let us know and we would try to help. Okay. And I already posted the link to the RCI dashboard on the chat. It's the live version. The RCI dashboard gets updated every day. So we get the latest available EOPS data as of yesterday. So 4 a.m. in the morning, the RCI dashboard does its update. So just in time for before you get into the office, the dashboard is already updated with the latest available data from EOPS. So I hope you could try that link I sent, and that'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. So I think we can proceed with the question and answers. We've already received a couple of questions in the chat box. So let me start with a question from Petit. What is the data source being mined by the dashboard? Is it the same source as the operations dashboard? So I think let's couple this with a question from Jeng. Is the information in line with the operations dashboard? So Ed, can you answer that?
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. Thank you for the questions. Yes, both dashboards uses the same data source, EOPS. So we use that same source, and aside from that, we supplemented the EOPS with Excel files. This is for the tagging of OP7 projects and for the sub-regional projects, which are not available. So we have to supplement the EOPS database so we could have that sub-regional and OP7 tagging report. This is very much consistent with the operations dashboard, other than the same data source that we use. We validate all our figures using the management dashboard.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Another question from Petit. It was mentioned that the coverage is for the past 20 years. So how was the data analyzed during the ADB shift from counting approvals to commitments in 2017? Ed?
Although the dashboard focuses on commitment amount, there's only one report that features the approval amount, and that's for the RCI reporting page. But all of the visuals, we present the commitment amount. So, so in terms of analyzing the move from approval to commitment, we don't really feature that in the dashboard. But if necessary, we do have that information, but it's just not presented in terms of comparing the two the two amounts. We don't have that presented as it is. But it is available, and we could do it if necessary, if needed.
So basically, Petit, what Ed is saying is that we started counting the commitments starting 2017, but prior to that, it's all just approvals, and then it shifted to commitments. So basically, approvals will be counted as commitments retroactively. Okay, the next one from Bama. How long did it take to develop the RCI dashboard, and how much did it cost roughly? So Ed, you have to tell us your contract price. No, how many months? I think maybe around 5 months if continuous, no? It was not that long. Ed's contract was the intermittent, right, Ed?
Yes, it was. So probably, yeah, probably 5 months at the most. It's done continuously, but yeah, that's for the RCI dashboard. So we did encounter some issues along the way. Issues were resolved, but yeah, but just to estimate it, probably like 4 or 5 months to develop.
Yeah, for a 5 months, not more than 50,000. I think the entire contract price. Raul will be able to
Really cheap.
advise us. Yeah, Raul will be able to advise us because they are planning to do something similar for the MIS in front office, right? The next one from Carol, still with Ed, on the customization. How difficult is it to customize the reports?
We designed the dashboard so that users can customize each report. So the level of user level customization available in each report of the dashboard is quite extensive. So, I mean, I think the most important there would be the switch between amount and count. That's one. All the table options, you could add columns that you need. And for the charts, drill down options are available. The filters, you could also customize them. And more importantly, the two reports that we prepared, the custom reports for sub-region and RCI reporting, those are all customized. These are all intended to for users of the data. So yeah, it's in the user level, customization is very easy.
What about for developers? So if they want to to develop something similar, how difficult will it be?
Very difficult, actually. The Power BI was designed for not for really for customization. If you compare RCI dashboard from other dashboards, aside from the filter pane, there's really not much customization available to users. But during the discussions with other colleagues, and during that first time we presented this, we noticed that there's really a demand for customization, for availability of options for users to customize the reports. So we started working on that, and the final product you see now, there's a host of columns available for tables, a host of categories available for drill down options, and yeah. But they are really difficult to implement. But I mean, I could guide anyone if you have questions. I mean, you could ask me anytime. And we also sharing the technical and user's manual for the dashboard. So those information, the customization, the parameters, the script is all there. So it's available to anyone.
Thanks, Ed. Question from Pia. How are you updating the current list, which I understand came from a one-off submission from the RDs? These are for the sub-regional programs. So what's our plan to update it?
So right now we we require the our sub-regional colleagues to send us updated monitoring files from time to time. But as Eileen mentioned earlier, we are planning to include this tagging information in the RCI uh, that we're developing. So that will be part of the information there. So uh, until then, we are currently having submissions from our sub-regional colleagues regarding updates.
So Pia, basically what we're planning is to request from the RDs at least maybe two submissions middle of the year and then at the end of the year on the approvals. And then as Ed was explaining earlier, the information in the dashboard comes from two sources, EOPS and Excel file. So basically the submissions from the RDs are the Excel file. So that's part of some customization that Ed did for that part of the report. Yes. Yes, Pia. Go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify. So the updates from EOPS are those just basically so we submitted a list of projects with the amounts as well. Are the amounts being updated with the updated amounts on EOPS, or they are being retained as is as we submitted them?
They are being updated as per EOPS. The updates usually are additional financing. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, we update the amount as we get it from EOPS.
But not, I mean, not adding projects to the
No,
list.
we're
So
not
the
adding.
amounts, yes, but the
Yes,
projects not.
yes, ma'am,
Okay,
that's correct.
understood. Thank you.
Mm-mm. So basically what we're doing, Pia, is we're tagging projects that are found in EOPS, tagging it to that this is GMS, this is SASEC, but all the projects should still be in from EOPS database. Right now, Ed?
Yep. I think what
Okay,
Pia
thank
is
you.
asking is really important because we encountered that problem earlier, Aileen, when we have same project with several additional funding, which is at first we were not accounting for that additional funding, but we corrected that and now we are including that not as a separate project, but as part of one project.
Okay, thank you. From FATS, Raul, I think you should be answering this. Is there a support in ADB that can help develop similar databases?
Yes, actually, staff can develop a Power BI database. However, since it takes time to generate and create visuals, consultants may be recruited for support in developing the database. So, Ed will be our future consultant for CCSD database.
Thank you, Raul.
Welcome.
Ed, this one's for you from Ren of Karek. For sub-regional reports, were you able to figure out how to extract or show data on individual contributions of projects with two co-financers or more?
Okay. Let's see sub-regional programs. Okay, so let's select a sub-regional program. Correct.
Can you show your screen so that they
Sorry.
can?
Uh, from what sub-regional program is Ren?
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Can you show your
Yep.
screen, Ed?
I'm doing that right now. Hold on. All right. Okay. So let's do Kavek. So this is the sub-regional custom report in the RCI dashboard. So select Kavek. We sort this by project number. Okay, so co-financer. Okay, So for instance, let me see, let me select. Yeah, actually you can do that now. On the last column, it indicates the co-financer for each project. So if there are more than one, that project will appear several times in the list. So yeah, we already did that.
Ren, I hope that addresses your question.
Okay, thank you. I see it now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Then feel free to to explore this page, and if you have any suggestions, comments, just let us know. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't show the country when you don't extract the data.
It doesn't show the
Countries when you extract the data.
countries. Okay, the
Yeah.
countries you have to add it. The
Uh,
option, see on the left side, there's table option. It doesn't have the country. Okay, so we
yeah,
will
it
add
doesn't
the
have.
country there. Okay, I'll
Yes,
add the
okay.
country.
Thank you.
All right.
See, this is the reason why we need your our suggestions. So Ed, please take note of that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ren.
the
Okay, for
update
the
will be available next week.
okay. Next one for Pia. Does the database capture any cancellations on project commitments, partial or full?
Cancellation. Cancellation right now in EOPS, the tagging is if the project is canceled or terminated. There's really no tagging for full or partial termination. So it's either terminated, canceled, or active. So that's what's available in EOPS right now. So say here, say we go to the bank-wide report. There's a filter for project status, so you could select only the active projects, the canceled, and the closed. So, but the default value is all projects, active, canceled, and closed, because these are commitment projects. So even if it's closed, it was committed still.
Yes, Pia, go ahead.
Yeah, I will just clarify. So actually, you answered it earlier. If you are updating the amount based on new updates, regular updates from EOPS on the amounts, I think it would capture the partial cancellations already because we update EOPS anyway when we partially cancel a committed amount, I think. So maybe
So
that's something to
is it a
recheck, but that's
negative
what I
entry?
understand.
Is it a negative entry? The
No,
cancellation.
it will be, for example, if you have one project worth 50 million and then you and then the government requests a partial cancellation because they want to use part of the loan proceeds for something else, then you cancel part of the 50 million, then your amount on EOPS would be updated
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe in the sidelines, Pia, we can help. We can check. We can check this in the information. So if you have a particular project in mind, try to generate it, and then let's see if it really
Okay.
captures it.
Yeah.
Thank
Just
All right.
you.
validate it if
Thank
it's
you.
really happening. So just give us a project number and we will check.
Okay. From Irene, how will SovOps work affect the RCI dashboard? So I'll address this. For the others, SovOps will eventually replace EOps. So I've already reached out to the SovOps core team and informed them about this dashboard that we have developed and will be using. So according to them, this will all be absorbed under EOPS, but what we've done is a good starting ground, and all the information will eventually be captured in SovOps. Another question from Irene. How are you going to reconcile in the database the project's reassignment pre and post NOM? Actually, this was an issue between Ed and I just a few days ago. So what we will be doing is capturing the processing division and department and also the administering department. Right, Ed?
That is correct. we will distinguish between which department is doing the administration and which project is doing the processing. And this will also be available to users, so you could filter the project based on processing department or administering department.
So hopefully this will capture all the reassignments that will be happening. From Jerry, how often should we update the data source to generate real-time data for the RCI dashboard? Ed, this is yours.
Currently, the dashboard is updated daily, every morning 4 a.m. So if there are any new projects encoded in the EOPS, the following day, it would be already included in the RCI dashboard. So it's a daily update.
Okay, thank you. From Win, where can we access Power BI in ADB? Raul, can you take this one?
Um, Just yesterday, I was able to download it in our software center. However, when I was trying to download it, there was a failed downloading app, so I needed to request ADB IT support to configure it in my laptop. So now I have my Power BI app in my laptop.
Okay,
Can I
thank
add
you very
something?
much. Sure. Go ahead, Ed.
So Power BI is available in the most common one with the link I sent you earlier, the Power BI service. That's online. So anywhere with a internet connection, you could access that. Number two is through apps available for Android and iOS. You just go to the app shop, app store, and download them. And the most advanced would be the Power BI desktop. So it's for Windows platform. There's none available for OS X, but it's more advanced. The developer, the desktop version, uh, the RCA dashboard was developed using the desktop version. In all cases, in all three formats, you would need your work address to register. Just for viewing and reading, it's free, but if you want to develop dashboards and reports, I think that would be an additional license. So yeah, but for reading, viewing dashboards, reports, it's free.
Ed, can you just recap again what are the updates following the NOM?
Okay, the major update would be the movement of the division, the reassigning. Uh, so the sector group is a new one. Right now, currently in the live dashboard, it forms part of the HQ department group. So HQ department group, this includes all the departments other than the regional department. Okay, so right now we have the regional departments and PSOD and HQ departments. So there's 7 major groupings. But later on, we would have 8. We would take out SG from the ADB departments and feature them similar to the regional departments, PSOD. So that would be the one major change. And also the ability to filter the projects based on who is processing them or who is administering them.
Thanks, Ed. We have a suggestion in the chat box from Orly. He's saying that to use the Power BI March 2023 version, which has a feature to clear filters all at once. So what's your comment on this one?
I think right now that's a developmental, that's a beta feature. But I'm a fan of beta features. I'd like to use them and submit comments if there are any bugs. So, but we have not used them in the official RCI dashboard. We only use the signed visuals. So if it's not signed, it's under development. We don't use them because it's still being reviewed. All those visuals are signed and approved, except for the switch. The switch, you cannot find it anywhere. I developed that. But the source code, the scripts, the measures involved in doing the switch is available in the technical manual. So if anybody wants to implement the same thing, you can do that you can just review the technical information in the technical manual.
From Bama, was ITD involved in developing this dashboard or was it Ed? Bama, their involvement is pretty basic in such that we discussed with them on what are the information that we can get from EOPS, and of course they have to approve Ed's access to the EOPS. And also they are the ones who upload the updated version. But other than that, the development is purely Ed, right, Ed?
Ed and Aileen.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? We have a suggestion here from Petit. Petit, thank you for this one. So in the chat box, Petit shared similar dashboard from the education group. I think they use Cognos, and it's also a good dashboard to look at. So maybe we can see the benefits of their dashboard and also what we develop.
Thank you
Any
for sharing.
other any other comments, suggestions? I see none. Can we request everybody to maybe answer the short survey, which Jay will be sharing right now? Where is it, Jay? He shared it in the chat box, and also you can also click it in the slide that he is showing right now. Please do answer it so that we it can help us improve in the future seminars. And also please reach out to us if there's any customization, if you see any requirement that we have not addressed. So just play with it. Play with the dashboard and then let us know. Any other comments? I think we're okay. With that, Ms. Sinyang, if you have any other comments, let us know. Otherwise, we would like to thank everybody for attending this afternoon session. We look forward to hearing from all of you, whether it's useful, whether we can improve it, and we'll see you in our next seminar series. Thank you and good afternoon. Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.